Hello everyone, my name is Michael, also known as BirdmanX35, and I'm here today to give you a basic screencast on Panels 2. Um, Panels 1 was a great module, but Panels 2 adds a lot of interesting functionality to basic content layout, and I think you'll find it interesting and useful. So anyway, I've just enabled all the basic modules that come with Panels 2. You don't need all of them, but I find it useful to have all the functionality. You should also note that I'm using the 5.x, 2.x dev version of all the modules. The latest beta at this time is beta 1, and you should probably use a beta as an end user, but or if 2.x has come out, you should use that, but I'm using the dev version. So let's get started using panels, and after you install panels, there's this nice little menu over here, and we'll click that. And this here is a documentation page that I'll assume you've read already, but it's very useful for getting started. So this panel pages menu item over here is the best place to start with panels. You can add and import panels, which may be useful, and it also shows the list of panels that you've created, and on this local host I haven't created any yet, so let's add one. These are all the layouts you can use for panels, and flexible is one that you can create by yourself, and these are all presets, stacked and 2 columns and 3 columns, etc. We're going to go with the 3 column 25, I think we'll go with the 2 column. And that's a split 50-50. And so here there are 3 different ones that we'll be using right now. The panel name, which is the internally referenced one, and we're creating an About Us page, so I'll call it About_us. And also a page title, which is the nice English version that's like readable, and a path for this panel that we're creating. Since we're just creating one page, we'll have an actual page created, but in other ones it might be variables, which I'll show later on. So let's click next. And since we're creating an About Us page, let's provide menu. That provides a menu over here. And if you wanted to change the title, you could here and select the weight. You could, but I think that'll work, so we'll just click next. And this is the context page, which has arguments, context, and relationships, but I'll show you that later. Well, let's go to the Content tab for now. And this is a split pane to represent what it should look like, and these plus signs allow you to add content. And let's add some custom content for this About Us page. I'm going to say about Michael, and I'm going to say Michael is a Drupal GOHOP student who loves Drupal and web design. In his spare time, he enjoys reading. That'll work. So we've just created a title and body field, and there's import format and access if you like, but as in views, access only applies if you use the checkboxes, otherwise it'll be accessible for all people. So let's click Add Pane, and it hasn't been saved yet, but let's add something else. Let's add another new custom content for some contact information, and we will add a phone number, which is not real, of course, and I'm gonna add a email address, which is my email. Then we'll click Add Pane, and let's save. Now this shows that it's been updated, and as you notice, these are draggable, but we don't need them to be dragged, so and I didn't want to make any changes, so let's go back to Drupal, and over here there's this nice new About Us menu, which shows the content that we added. If you wanted to mess with this so that this was over here, you could with the flexible layout. And of course, most content would ordinarily be longer, but this works for now. So let's try something a bit more complicated. yeah, yeah, when you look at nodes, Drupal inherently uses this format, which is the content and then the comments right below it and then a comment form. And depending on what modules you have, it might be a bit different, but this is what it looks like generically. So let's override this, and panels allow some great functionality for allowing us to do that. So let's click panel pages again and add another one. And I think we'll go with 2-column. And let's call this node override. And we'll skip on the page title this time since it's a variable page. And we'll go with node percentage, which allows a variable for if it was node 4, then it was used node 4. Next. We don't need this time because it's a variable. And let's add an argument, which takes the context from the page and uses it. So we're using the node ID, which will take the number. If it was node 4, it would send that information to panels so that it could use that. And we'll click next, and let's create a new layout. We have this nice new node context heading, and let's add the node content first. And this is an option to link the title to the node, which Drupal does inherently, so we'll try and copy that functionality. And click Add Pane. And I think on the right we'll add the node comments. And that looks fine. And below it, we have the comment form. And that also looks fine. And we'll click Save. Again, if you didn't like that order, you could drag and drop them, but that looks fine for now. And let's look again. Oh, there we have it. It's separated, and with long content, that might be very useful if you have lots of content and lots of comments. So what else can Panels 2 do? Well, there are two pretty interesting features that I've found. One is mini panels, which isn't actually working on my local host, so I figured I'd show you a demo of what it would look like. It works a lot like panels, but it's actually like a smaller panel that you can import into other panels. So this right here is a mini panel that he's used in an overall panel. This is Wim Lears, by the way. Thank you, Wim. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. And he's also created these lovely styles, which are tabs. And aren't those nice? And some more panels. And a mini panel in a mini panel. That's very nice, too. So that's mini panels, and there's also some tutorials on Drupal.org that I created, and there should be more about using views with panels too. That's very useful if you already have a lot of views. You can override like the front page with that. That's what this tutorial does, or many other things. And then there's also, you can override the node edit form. That's a tutorial that I created using a method very similar to overriding the node. Well, anyway, that's it for now. But if you have any problems, feel free to contact me. My username is BirdmanX35, and I'm usually on IRC.